100 acres on a Jasper County ranch.
And the Skywatch storm tracker is high and dry, contributing to drought conditions, the latest in the Skywatch Weather Center.
And we look into the business of sharks.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A hot, dry forecast leads to concerns of more grass fires across the 4 states. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, a hay baler sparks a grass fire on Wednesday, burning 100 acres west of Joplin. Now, yesterday's fire happened at the Wildwood Ranch near 2600 Central City Road just after 2 p.m. Carl Junction Fire, Jasper County Sheriff's deputies and Met's ambulance responded. Baxter Springs Fire, Reddings Mill Fire, and Galena, Kansas Fire were requested to assist. No one was injured. Crews at the scene say the fire jumped the railroad tracks but did not spread into the fields. Liberty Utilities were on scene as well as railroad personnel checking for damaged infrastructure. Jasper County doesn't currently have a burn ban, but there is one active in Benton County, Arkansas. You know, that's next door. Chris Warner joins us with a first look at our current drought conditions.
Yeah, we were talking about these this morning, and as a matter of fact, this morning during the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, the data in the system updated and upped our drought status. So let's take a look. Obviously, out to the west, the situation is considerably worse, but here locally this morning, from about Pittsburgh to the southeast, we were all in just the dry, but now it's been upped where there's a good chunk of the 4 states, including Benton County, in the moderate area in terms of drought. And that is just because we have not seen enough rain. There's not been enough moisture in the atmosphere, and things are getting very dry outside. Hence that grass fire out on Central City that spread, and it spread because of how dry things are. The Skywatch storm tracker shows nothing. It's still dry. There's some good news. We do have a system that's off to our northwest that is eventually going to make its way down here. Unfortunately, the rain chances associated with it, not too promising, at least not right now. Hopefully that'll change. Right now across the area, temperatures are warming up as promised. We're sitting 89 as the cool spot in Iola. Everybody else lower to mid-90s. These temperatures will continue to rise as we pass through the rest of the day. 97 by 6, 91 by 8, not cooling off very quickly. 81 by midnight. All of us in the lower to mid-70s for overnight lows. We'll have a complete look at the rest of your forecast and some of those rain chances here in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, one area where it's definitely not dry, Virginia, and cleanup and damage assessment is underway in Southwest Virginia today after sudden and severe storms wash homes right off their foundations. At least 100 are damaged. A state of emergency has been declared as officials work to restore power and find dozens of unaccounted for people. So far, no deaths have been reported. An Ohio abortion case is getting national attention. This week, a 27-year-old man was charged with raping a 10-year-old girl in Ohio. The little girl traveled to Indiana for an abortion because under a new law, the state of Ohio would have required her to give birth unless her life was in danger. Well, it's the end of an era. An educational supply store that teachers and parents have depended on for almost half a century is about to close its doors. And as Joe Hickman reports from Springfield, the 4-state area is losing much more than poster board and glue.
The parking lot is full at IPA Educational Supply in South Springfield these days, as news spread that one of the area's largest and best known sources of school supplies and educational materials for teachers and parents will be closing by mid-August after almost 47 years in business. So customers are coming from as far away as Illinois and Oklahoma to stock up.
Teachers are very dedicated and they just want to make their classrooms look inviting, and so they'll travel just to do that.
And that's why, in reacting to the closing,
the teachers say it's not okay.
I've been teaching since 1994, and we come every year as a group.
We talked with this group from Round Grove Christian Academy in Miller, Missouri,
No, you're good.
and these teachers from Springfield's New Covenant Academy, who explained that the store is not just about providing helpful materials for learning, but it's also about finding decorations for their classroom that create a positive ambiance and spirit.
When I started teaching, this was the first place that I came because it kind of sets the tone for your classroom.
You go into these stores like this looking for what adds and complements that vision of how your kids can learn best.
Kind of inspires you where you want to go with your theme where you want to go with your class. It helps with the atmosphere, but it also helps with the educational part of it.
You're hopeful that you're making a difference, but until we made the announcement, we didn't realize how much of a difference it was.
Owner Amy Green has been amazed by the emotional reaction to the store's closing, and she's emotional too, because she's been at IPA since her parents started the business in 1976, when she was just 8 years old. But she and her husband decided it was time to close after they got a generous offer to buy the building following a downturn in business during the pandemic.
That affected our sales, but then it also made us step back and think that maybe we do want to spend more time with our family.
And while customers will now have to go online or visit smaller stores that have a school supply section,
There's definitely a lot more here.
I think it's sad that it's closing.
It's going to be missed tremendously.
Yeah.
We've built relationships with these customers, so we will miss them, but they will also miss us.
Well, Green says the closing sale will continue until they close their doors in August. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, we meet up with shark researchers in California, where they're trying to understand the impact of great white sharks on the local economy. And later, we're making a summer party salad in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. A surfer is recovering today after being bitten by a shark off of New York's Long Island on Wednesday. Now, these bites are rare, and they almost always involve an adult shark. At some beaches in Southern California, though, swimmers, surfers, and businesses are adapting to life with juvenile great white sharks, which are spotted often. Carter Evans followed researchers studying the sharks to find out what they're learning about the sharks' impact on local communities.
Stunning images of great white sharks sharing the water with swimmers in Southern California's busiest beaches are now a common sight.
It's these drone views that have really changed our understanding of how sharks behave around people.
Chris Lowe, director of the Shark Lab at Cal State Long Beach, says the juvenile great whites here are up to 7 years old and mostly ignore people, but sometimes they get curious.
It's no different than a neighborhood dog, right? You're out walking with somebody and the dog comes over and gives you a sniff.
And in fact, if you do make a move toward a shark, they tend to go the other way.
Exactly. We see this over and over again.
We witnessed it last summer.
This shark is just swimming so calmly and so gracefully right now.
Okay, get in the beach now. Which is why I'm now comfortable enough to get into these shark-infested waters with Lowe's research team. They had me help swim a massive fishing net to researchers on the beach.
There you go.
Where they capture and tag some of the sea life the sharks might be feeding on. And Lowe says people just aren't on the menu. But on the rare occasion a shark bites a person, it makes national news.
The swimmer was badly injured today in a shark attack.
For a shark attack.
Following a shark attack.
The Shark Lab now wants to understand how all of this is impacting local economies.
A couple years ago, we had a woman that was bitten. I was at a city council meeting in Huntington Beach, and I heard that there was a $7 million loss in hotel reservations.
But there's also evidence shark bites can have the opposite effect. With more people becoming shark enthusiasts, a West Virginia University study found an initial increase in hotel bookings 3 days after an attack. But after that, the bookings drop.
This all comes down to people's perceptions.
Exactly.
Economist Dee Dee Long is working with the Shark Lab to study the financial impact.
Some people might think, oh, I take it really seriously, I don't want to go to the beach. But some people might think, oh, this is really exciting, I actually want to pursue this opportunity.
At this Santa Barbara beach, it's now common to see a dorsal fin break the surface offshore.
Hello, shark.
But the sharks aren't hurting business, according to surf shop owner Sam Holcomb.
When I educate the stand-up paddleboard renters about the sharks, very few choose to not go.
When people are on the beach, sharks are pretty far down the list on their list of concerns.
Tourism professor Katie Dudley is working with the Shark Lab.
People come out here, they go whale watching. Can you see a day when people come out here and go shark watching?
Oh, absolutely. That's why this team is so great and unique, because we're coming at it at every different angle so that hopefully we can make a truly sustainable model to help have a thriving tourism destination right next to a thriving shark population in our oceans.
Well, so far, the Shark Lab researchers have not seen any of the sharks they tagged as babies return to the same areas as adults. Well, still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
If you don't know beans about beans, we've got some tips to turn them into a fresh summery salad that's spectacular.
But first, Chris Warner returns with your complete forecast.
It's another hot one today, and it's another dry one. And because of that, the drought conditions in the area are not improving. As we zoom in, you can see a good chunk of the region now in the moderately dry category. We've still got even more folks in southeast Kansas that are dry, and that is because we've just not seen enough rain. We've not seen enough moisture, and conditions may slightly improve over the next few days. We'll talk about that in just a second. 7th and Range line. The sun is shining, and it's contributing to this heat situation. It looks nice, but it is also getting to be quite hot outside. 95 is where we're at in Joplin right now. It feels like it is 97 because check that out. Dew point is 65, but the humidity is low. Another contributing factor into the drought situation. Across the region, you can see we are all there except Iola. They're lucky, if you can call that. They're 89 degrees. Everybody else lower to mid-90s, and these temperatures are going to continue to climb as we go through the day. I wanted to show you regionally. Now, Dallas doesn't count because right now they're dealing with a storm complex, so just pretend that their temperature doesn't exist. But there is heat building in from the southwest, and it's going to continue to build in, and it's going to become excessively hot once again. Skywatch Storm Tracker locally showing nothing in our area. That's the complex of storms down around Dallas that I was talking about, contributing to some relief for them. We have a system we're watching off to the northwest that will give us a little relief over the next few days. So let's go ahead and talk about the next few hours, the next 24 hours actually. See, that's what that says. It's 24 hours. As we go through the night, temperatures really aren't going to back off much. I mean, at least it's going to be clear. It's going to be nice. You can see the full moon still. We're going to be in the lower to mid 70s for overnight lows. And as we head into tomorrow, check out that red color. It is really going to heat up by 4 o'clock, 98 degrees, and maybe a stray cloud or two. And I'll tell you why we may see a stray cloud or two here with the future track. So going into tonight, not so shabby. Cloud cover builds in, and you see little bits of scattered, widely scattered, isolated even, thunderstorms in the area. And unfortunately, the cloud cover isn't really going to do a lot for temperatures. As you can see, they're going to be heading into the upper 90s yet again. Now, we do have some stuff out here. We have better chances of showers and thunderstorms heading into the weekend. For the rest of today, though, again, upper 90s is where we're going to hit. Heat index values are going to not be so high. It's not going to be as miserably hot as we had seen a couple of weeks ago because the humidity's low. Even though dew point's up, humidity's low, kind of balances out. So heat index values pushing about 100, maybe 101. Going through the night, again, dipping off into the mid-70s for overnight lows with a light southeast breeze, but clear skies again, so I suppose that's helpful. And on the 7-day forecast, heat continues to build in as we proceed through the weekend, and so do rain chances. So very low chance, like I showed you on the future track for tomorrow. But as we head into the weekend, we do see increasing chances for showers and thunderstorms, and we're going to keep an eye on that because hopefully we really can get some of this rain because we need it. And then it's going to heat right back up again. Highs pushing 100, maybe a pinch above, with heat index values above 100, pushing about 105, and then we start to see more rain chances by the middle of next week. You've got a few more nights to give your AC a break before we start seeing overnight lows be on the toasty side as well, pushing upper 70s to near 80 degrees. So if you haven't given it a break, try and give it one over the next couple of nights because it's really going to be your last opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Wish we could get our lows back under the 70s. That makes it nice in the morning.
It does. Unfortunately, it's still summer. Yeah. It's still the middle of July, and the heat is here to stay, at least for the foreseeable future.
Wait for our next break coming, hopefully next Sunday.
Hopefully we'll see those chances maybe increase a little bit. Maybe we can get a little more widespread rain, kind of like we saw, last week, or no, Tuesday of this week.
Tuesday
morning. Week, we saw a fair amount of rain.
That was nice.
Hopefully we can get a little bit more to help out with some of those drought conditions because we do need the rain.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chris. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Airman First Class Patrick Riley in the U.S. Air Force. The Pittsburgh native joined the Food Service Squadron, fighting in Korea from 1950 to 1953. He earned the Korean Service Medal. To Airman Patrick Riley, we thank you, our four-state hero. hosting a party or attending a potluck? Break out the chips and set out a bowl of today's summer party salad. Howard shows us how to make it in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
This time of year, the last thing we want is a hot and heavy meal to weigh us down. So to help us through the dog days of summer, we came up with a fresh tasting salad that teams up with just about anything. And it's from our diabetic-friendly website, everydaydiabeticrecipes.com. We start by combining a can of chickpeas and black beans that we've drained and rinsed really well. Did you know that by rinsing these, it reduces the sodium by about 40%? To that, we add some cut up cherry tomatoes and cucumbers, a good amount of frozen corn that we thawed, and a handful of sliced scallions. And to give the salad lots of flavor, we whisk together some olive oil, lime juice, minced garlic, chopped cilantro, and a little salt and pepper. This goes over the salad fixings and it's ready to eat as is, or you can pop it in the fridge if you prefer it chilled. Either way, it's beyond your typical side dish since it's packed with protein, fiber, and a fresh citrusy taste. You could even add in some chunked ham, chicken, or even shrimp and turn it into a hearty main dish. To get this party-perfect recipe, go to our website and type in Summer Party Salad. It's that easy. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fresh, summery way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
That looks tasty. I'm going to try this. You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
Heat, low humidity, and no rain leading to moderate drought conditions for a good chunk of the 4 states, and hopefully we'll get some relief. Quick look at that 7-day does show some increasing shower and thunderstorm chances into the weekend. Unfortunately, on top of that, it shows increasing temperatures with highs pushing 100 by Saturday.
All right, what do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, a new study finds more than 10 million adults have tried to get help for addiction to gambling. Tonight in Health Watch, how gambling is becoming a global public health concern. Plus, an online car dealership is causing frustration for a Chanute couple over registration. We'll explain. And the Carl Junction Fire Chief explains the risks of fire right now with these drier conditions. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dal. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at Noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.